Israel has partially lifted its blockade on Gaza, allowing a limited amount of humanitarian aid to enter for the first time since March 2nd. The move follows mounting international pressure, including strong calls from France for unrestricted humanitarian access. However, the details of the implementation of the aid plan are yet to be given out. The World Health Organization chief warned today that 2 million people are starving in the Gaza Strip, driving up the risk of famine. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated today that Israel intends to maintain full control over Gaza, further stating that we are going to take control of the entire territory of the Gaza Strip. Let us listen in to what the Israeli Prime Minister had to say.
מתחילת המלחמה אמרנו שכדי להשלים את הניצחון, להכריע את החמאס ולשחרר את כל חטופינו, שתי משימות שמשולבות זו בזו, יש תנאי אחד הכרחי. אסור לנו להגיע למצב של רעב, גם מבחינה עניינית, גם מבחינה מדינית. פשוט לא יתמכו בנו, לא נוכל להשלים את משימת הניצחון. יש לנו מלחימה עצומה, עצימה ועצומה, ויש התקרבות. אנחנו הולכים להשתלט על כל שטחי הרצועה. זה מה שאנחנו הולכים לעשות. ודבר נוסף, אני פשוט מצדיע למילואימניקים, אני מצדיע ללוחמים שלנו בסדיר, הם עושים שם עבודה נהדרת, כולל הבוקר, אני לא יכול להיכנס לכל הפרטים, אנחנו לא מוותרים. אבל כדי לעשות את זה, צריך לעשות את זה באופן כזה שלא יעצרו אותה.
Meanwhile, Israel's military has issued an urgent evacuation order for residents of Khan Younis, Gaza's second largest city, warning of an unprecedented attack. The order shared on social media by military spokesman Avishai Adrai also covers nearby towns Bani Suhaila and Abbasan, urging civilians to move west towards Al-Mawasi. The military has declared the entire Khan Younis governorate a dangerous combat zone. This follows a similar displacement order issued just a day earlier for areas of central Gaza, including Al-Qarara in southern Deir al-Balah, as Israel intensifies its military campaign. The offensive, dubbed Operation Gideon Chariots, is aimed at securing the release of hostages still held by Hamas. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said the campaign is being carried out with great force as ground operations expand. Israeli authorities believe up to 23 of the 57 remaining hostages may still be alive, with particular concern for at least 3 individuals. In today's latest developments, Israel launched 30 airstrikes across Gaza, bringing today's reported death toll to 46. According to Gaza's health ministry, on Sunday alone, at least 151 Palestinians were killed in the ground offensive, with reports of total 300 people killed in airstrikes in the past 48 hours. Anand Berstein-Reich, president of Israel Asia's Chamber of Commerce, joining us live from Tel Aviv. In the past 48 hours, reports say over 300 people have died in Gaza amid intensified Israeli airstrikes. What specific measures is the Israeli government taking to minimize civilian casualties?
Israel always takes measures to minimize and almost no civilian casualties by letting the population in advance know that we are about to attack a certain point. The intention of Israel is to eliminate or badly hurt Hamas and other terror organizations in this area, especially in Khan Younis, which Israel was out of this region for the past almost 9 months. And they understand that several terror groups are operating in Khan Younis, including Hamas, including Nasser ad-Din groups, which operate there and send missiles to Israel and also hold hostages. So it was mandatory to take over this region again. And of course, Israel, as you rightly said, placed an urgent evacuation order. They send messages, WhatsApps, even leaflets to the population to leave the area, move to Rafiah or to the west of this area. People know that they have to evacuate. When you're talking about casualties, I believe that most of the casualties are terrorists that operate in this region. The numbers are always inflated when you have an official number by Palestinian or by Gaza, it's usually Hamas or the organizations there that say the numbers, but those are inflated numbers, of course, and most of them are terrorists that were killed in those attacks.
And despite the announcement that aid will now be partially allowed into Gaza, there's still little clarity on how this will be implemented. So what mechanisms are now in place to ensure aid reaches those in need?
So actually from this Saturday onwards, a fund, American fund, which is named the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, is going to operate in Gaza. Those people are already now in Israel, getting training by Israel to enter Gaza and build stations, distribution stations along the strip. Those are ex-American military people that know how to work in combat zone. And we hope that they will replace the UN aid organizations that were not able to distribute the food, because actually Hamas took over the food whenever a humanitarian truck came into Gaza. Instead of this food and other supplies reaching the really needy, Hamas took over those trucks, sold it to business people in inflated prices, took the money and used the money to buy further ammunition. So it didn't make sense to send those trucks before there is a solution. And I truly hope that from Saturday onwards, there will be a solution with this GHF American fund that will enter Gaza. And I hope that it will serve the purpose of stopping the starvation of population in Gaza Strip.
Right. We all hope so. And can you explain the objectives of Operation Gideon Chariots and how this military campaign differs from previous ground offensives that were taken in Gaza?
How very different it is, but definitely a ground operation, it's much more effective and much more precise than an aerial operation. You cannot be totally precise. When it is a ground operation, you are able to reach. Just to name, in the past few days, few leaders of the Hamas and the other terror groups were taken and killed. And this is the ability to take over Hamas. The aim of this ground operation is to actually eliminate or hurt Hamas. We cannot eliminate Hamas. Hamas is more than just a military group, but definitely we need to weaken Hamas. And the ultimate goal is to get some peace to the region. But more important, we have 57 now actually hostages. Out of them, 23 are still alive, and the rest are bodies held by Hamas. We want them back. Hamas is not letting it happen. There are talks in Qatar. I hope that with the military operation and the pressure in the ground and the Qatar talks, we will be able to reach some agreement. Of course, if we are having also this humanitarian fund coming into Gaza, we can also ease the suffering of the population that is not Hamas, that is not terrorist. We need to bring, after almost 18 or more months, we need to bring some peace to the region. We want it as much as the poor Palestinians that are suffering from the governing body, which is the terror groups like Hamas and the other.
Since you mentioned that there are ongoing efforts to bring the Israeli hostages back home, is there any update on the status of those Israeli hostages that are still held in Gaza?
Yes, so last week, Eden Alexander, which is an Israeli-American soldier, was released from hostage. He brought a lot of information about the situation of hostages. The recent hostages that came brought information. Hamas is releasing from time to time some videos of the hostages to create pressure on Israel to stop the war. So there is knowledge that between 21 and 23 are still alive, but time is of essence. Those people are suffering, they are tortured, they are in tunnels without light, without air. The way that the last hostages that came to Israel were skinny, in very bad medical situation, so we must release the hostages as soon as possible. As I said, there are talks in Qatar with the aid of Egypt, with the aid of US. I truly hope that the pressure now will progress the talks in Qatar, and we can announce that they reach a new trust and release pact.
Thank you so much, President